Good morning, my dear students. Today we are going to see chapter 5, A Face in the Dark. We already see the summary and also critical appreciation of the chapter. Today we are going to see the textbook explanation. Mr. Oliver, an Anglo-Indian teacher, was returning to his school late one night on the outskirts of the hill station of Simla. From before Kipling's time, the school had been run on English public school lines, and the boys, most of them from wealthy Indian families, wore blazers, caps, and ties. Life magazine, in a feature on India, had once called it the Eden of the East. Mr. Oliver had been teaching in the school for several years. This first paragraph is introducing the main character, Mr. Oliver, about his job where he is working. He is an Anglo-Indian teacher who works in a school on the outskirts of the hill station of Simla. The students, those who learn in that schools, are from very healthy family, and this school is recognized as the Eden of the East by Life magazine. Our main character, Mr. Oliver, had been teaching in that school for several years. The Simla Bazaar, with its cinemas and restaurants, was about 3 miles from the school, and Mr. Oliver, a bachelor, usually strolled into the town in the evening, returning after dark, when he would take a shortcut through the pine forest. This is discussing about the beauty of Simla Bazaar and also the daily routine of Mr. Oliver. Simla Bazaar is attractive with its cinemas and restaurants. It is almost 3 miles away from the school where Mr. Oliver works. Mr. Oliver is a bachelor, and every day he used to go to that town in the evening and return from Simla Bazaar to his school after dark. He normally take a shortcut through the pine forest from the Simla Bazaar to reach his school. When there was a strong wind, the pine trees made sad, eerie sounds that kept most people to the main road. But Mr. Oliver was not a nervous or imaginative man. He carried a torch, and its gleam, the batteries were running down, moved fitfully down the narrow forest path. When its flickering light fell in the figure of a boy who was sitting alone on a rock, Mr. Oliver stopped. Boys were not supposed to be out after dark. In this third paragraph, we will see about one incident that takes place when Mr. Oliver was returning through the pine forest to his school. Here, the author is making an atmosphere of something danger by quoting the words like pine trees made sad and eerie sounds. That sound kept most of the people out from the shortcut, and they all used the main road. But our main character, Mr. Oliver, is introduced here as a person who is not nervous or an imaginative man. He was brave enough to walk through that pine forest which made very sad and eerie sound. He was carrying a torch. Its gleam moved fitfully down the narrow forest path, which showed the clear path to him to walk to his school. But there was a problem. The batteries were running out. Suddenly, the flickering light fell in the figure of a boy who was sitting alone on the rock. Mr. Oliver stopped there. Boys were not supposed to be out after dark. Here, we can clearly see the atmosphere of strangeness. "What are you doing out here, boy?" asked Mr. Oliver sharply, moving closer so that he could recognize the miscreant. But even as he approached the boy, Mr. Oliver sensed that something was wrong. The boy appeared to be crying. His head hung down. He held his face in his hands, and his body shook convulsively. It was a strange, soundless weeping, and Mr. Oliver felt distinctly uneasy. In this paragraph, we can see that one more main character is being introduced. That is a boy who is sitting alone on a rock. The boy appeared to be crying, and his head hung down. He held his face in his hands, and his body shook convulsively. The cry of that boy was a strange and soundless weeping. Mr. Oliver felt something wrong here. Mr. Oliver felt distinctly uneasy. So we could say Mr. Oliver, he was not a nervous or imaginative man, but from here his state of mind is changing. Well, what's the matter? Mr. Oliver asked that boy, his anger giving way to concern. What are you crying for? The boy would not answer or looked up. His body continued to be racked with silent sobbing. Come on, boy, you should not be out here at this hour. Tell me the trouble. Look up. The boy looked up. He took his hands from his face and looked up at his teacher. The light from Mr. Oliver's torch fell on the boy's face, if you could call it a face. In this fifth paragraph, we can see the supernaturalism, or we can see the introduction of this supernaturalism. Mr. Oliver, the teacher, is highly concerned about the boy. He is inquiring what is the reason of his cry, and he is motivating the child to look up. At last, the child is looking up at his teacher. It had no eyes, ears, nose, or mouth. It was just a round, smooth head with a school cap on top of it. And that's where the story should end. But for Mr. Oliver, it did not end here. That is the reason why authors said, if you could call it a face. There is no characteristics of a face for that boy. It had no eyes, ears, nose, or mouth. It was just a round, smooth head with a school cap on top of it. Here, the author says that's where the story should end. But for Mr. Oliver, it did not end here. Which means, for a normal person who is nervous and imaginative can die at the moment. It's a dark night, and pine forests are making sad and eerie sounds. Most of the people are in the main road. They are not taking this shortcut just because of the pine forest cry. But for Mr. Oliver, it did not end here. The torch fell from his trembling hand. He turned and scrambled down the path, running blindly through the trees and calling for help. He was still running towards the school building when he saw a lantern swinging in the middle of the path. Mr. Oliver stumbled up to the watchman, gasping for breath. What is it, Sahib? Asked the watchman. Has there been an accident? Why are you running? Here, the author is introducing the third important character of this play, the watchman. The watchman is inquiring about the Mr. Oliver's cry for help. He inquired, has there been an accident? Mr. Oliver replied, I saw something horrible. A boy weeping in the forest, and he had no face. No face, Sahib? The watchman inquired. No eyes, nose, mouth, nothing, Mr. Oliver replied. By understanding the fear of Mr. Oliver, the watchman asked, Do you mean it was like this, Sahib? Asked the watchman and raised the lamp to his own face. The watchman had no eyes, no ears, no features at all, not even an eyebrow. And that's when the wind blew the lamp out. We can see that the atmosphere of strangeness and supernaturalism throughout the story. Till the end of this story, Ruskin Bond kept supernaturalism and also atmosphere of strangeness. Thank you.